of 2-hour free parking at UTC are gone. The changes that took effect this week.
County supervisors are threatening to sue the federal government for being denied entry into an ICE detention facility. I have more on what they want from the lawsuit coming up.
A local veteran in need of wheels as she transitions to civilian life was just given a brand new car. You've got to see her reaction.
Brad Sandstrom has a challenge for you. He can craft anything out of a single cork, and we put him to the test.
We start tonight with a shock for some San Diego shoppers caught off guard by unexpected parking changes at the UTC Westfield Mall. And tonight, we're working for you to explain what's new. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. I'm Anna Laurel.
I'm Marcella Lee. The mall no longer allows 2 hours of free parking, changing it this week to only 1 hour instead. News 8 Steffi Roche is working for you and getting answers about these changes. Steffi, the new parking fee hours came as a surprise to a lot of people.
Hey, it came as a surprise for me as well. I came here Monday morning. I spent about an hour and 15 minutes here at UTC, and when I got to the gate over here to leave, I was surprised that I owed $2. I started chatting with one of the attendants out here, and he informed me that Monday was the first day of these changes. So basically, any time after 1 hour, you'll be charged $2 per hour until the daily maximum of $15 is reached. 2 to 3 hours of parking at the mall will cost you about $4, and a lost ticket will cost you the daily maximum, so $15. A spokesperson for UTC tells me the AMC 14, Season 52, UTC Ice Rink, and the 24-hour Fitness have always validated parking, and they're going to continue to do so. But today I talked to mall goers, including Evan Wang, who has some classes here inside UTC.
It's pretty convenient for me to park there in the morning since I have 8 a.m. classes, and 2 hours for free is really nice to have. So I typically drive nearby. I park there for maybe like an hour and a half, and then I go to class, I come back. Or it's free from 0 to 1. Anything after an hour is $2. It kind of like incentivizes me to not park there anymore.
I asked about a reason for this change. In a statement, a spokesperson for UTC tells me, quote, "We are committed to enhancing our guest experience from arrival to departure. This update supports ongoing parking enhancements and improves parking availability throughout the day by making access more predictable, helping guests more easily enjoy our vibrant shopping, dining, and entertainment destinations." And new signing about the new parking fees went up this week, and it's still unclear if other businesses at the mall are going to start validating parking as well. But I'm going to have more on this tonight at 10 on the CW San Diego and at 11 on CBS. But for now, reporting live from UTC, I'm Steffi Roche, working for you.
Steffi, they have such great restaurants over there. Are they validating parking? Do you know?
Only Seasons 52 right now validates parking. It's still unclear if other restaurants are going to be doing that.
Okay,
but that's the
Javier's
only
and
restaurant I'm
Lucrezia.
aware of.
Yeah, I like going over there. Thank you for that. Good to know. And remember, if there is something you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. All right, take a live look at the evening commute. Oh my goodness, this is the 15, you guys, in Murphy Canyon, where an overturned truck is causing this massive traffic backup for drivers heading south.
Wow.
This Caltrans cam is just south of Arrow Drive, where, as you can see, it is a sea of brake lights. It has been like this for hours. The overturned truck is just down the road from this camera where Friars Road meets the 15 near Snapdragon Stadium. This is what the area looked like a few hours ago when Chopper 8 was overhead, and you can see just one, maybe two lanes are able to trickle by. That huge backup of traffic was because it was all just ventured down to that one lane. It was first reported around 1:30 this afternoon. We don't yet know exactly what caused it. Caltrans expects to have the lanes, though, reopened very soon.
The Defense Department released new video today of the moment a U.S. submarine sank an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean as the U.S. intensifies its military campaign against Iran. It comes as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said at the Pentagon today that the U.S. and Israeli air forces will soon have complete control of Iranian airspace.
We will fly all day, all night, day and night, finding, fixing, and finishing the missiles and defense industrial base of the Iranian military, finding and fixing their leaders and their military leaders.
Hegseth added the U.S. military is just getting started with more bombers on the way. Now, some lawmakers are trying to rein in the Trump administration from using any more force against Iran. We'll have more on that in our next half hour. And within just the last hour, the Pentagon announced one of the 6 U.S. soldiers killed in an attack in Kuwait has been identified as Chief Warrant Officer III Robert M. Marjan of the Sacramento area. The Pentagon says the 54-year-old is, quote, believed to be the individual who perished at the scene. As tensions continue to rise, there are growing concerns about what the conflict could mean for gas prices.
More than a quarter of the world's oil supply comes from the Middle East, and experts say any disruption could quickly impact prices at the pump. News 8 State Matters political reporter Jenny Ha explains why drivers should be paying close attention.
Experts and advocates of the petroleum industry tell me this is exactly why they say increased reliance on foreign oil supply is unreliable. Here are the factors that could drive up gas prices.
Now you have a major geopolitical event. This is not a little event. This is a big event, which is completely outside of our control.
And events outside of our control mean an unreliable supply of oil for Californians, says University of Southern California Associate Professor Mike Miche.
Our theory of being more reliant on foreign imports is fine in a perfect world, but it's not fine in the reality of the real world.
This as California loses in-state refining capacity, meaning less oil production. Recently, the Phillips 66 refinery in Los Angeles shut down, and Valero and Benicia is planning to cease operations by April. 2 facilities producing 20% of California gasoline.
You know, price is an issue. Price is already high in California because of taxes, but what if you can't get the products that you need? Our Richmond refinery in Northern California supplies 60% of the jet fuel to San Francisco Airport.
The California Energy Commission, or CEC, acknowledging refinery closures mean more reliance on imported fuel. A spokesperson writing in part, quote, to smooth that transition, we will need to continue to ensure that supply can reliably come into the state.
We have to get a special blend of gasoline for California, and there's just a limited number of refineries for that.
A California special blend, which is more environment friendly, which only some countries in Asia like South Korea, Singapore, India, Saudi Arabia, and China can make. But Miche says there's the looming conflict between China and Taiwan, and the war in Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz oil route along the Persian Gulf.
There's, one eye on the Middle East and one eye on Asia right now.
7 major refineries are left in the state, including Chevron, which operates 2. They too are foreshadowing closures amid newly proposed regulations by the California Air Resources Board, which works to help meet the state's zero emissions by 2045 climate goal.
Are you guys threatening to move out of state and close down your 2 refineries if these amendments do pass?
Yes, Jenny, we have got to get some real action.
The Cap and Invest program allows polluters to pay for credit to continue operations and offers rebates and consumer returns. The proposal, fewer permits, higher fees.
I call it Cap and Divest. That will not allow us to compete with anything coming from overseas because, again, they're only going to tax in-state production and they're not going to tax imports.
And a CARB spokesperson says, quote, the Cap and Invest program is the most cost-effective way for California to achieve its statutorily mandated climate goals. Andy Walls with Chevron says he's heard back from the CEC and that back and forth discussions over the amendments are ongoing. Jenny Ha, News 8.
County Board of Supervisor Chair Tara Lawson-Remer and Supervisor Paloma Aguirre are threatening to sue the Department of Homeland Security for denying them entry into an ICE facility last month.
The supervisors say they had an appointment through ICE to tour the facility for a public health inspection. CBS 8's Alex Cheney was there that day and joins us from Waterfront Park tonight. Alex, are the supervisors going through with the lawsuit?
Actually, they are. So earlier today, the supervisors had a meeting here at the county admin building. They said if the federal government did not return their request to tour that same detention facility by 5 o'clock today, that they would be pushing forward with that lawsuit. I spoke to a member of Paloma Aguirre's team earlier tonight, and she told me that, in fact, the government did not respond, and so that lawsuit will go through.
We are demanding that federal officials allow full and unrestricted access and a public health inspection of the Otay Mesa Detention Center by this Friday.
After vowing to press a lawsuit 2 weeks ago, Tara Lawson-Remer and Paloma Aguirre made good on that promise today as they announced a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security and ICE if they're not allowed entry into the Otay Mesa Detention Center by tomorrow.
We're calling for an immediate, unhindered inspection. We won't stop until those doors are open.
Our cameras were rolling on February 20th when Lawson-Remer and Aguirre entered the holding facility in Otay Mesa, only to be ushered out about an hour later, not completing their legal public health inspection, even with direct written permission from ICE to enter the facility. The supervisor is now giving ICE an ultimatum: let us in or else.
Or they can explain to a federal judge next week why they believe immigration detention facilities should be exempt from basic public health oversight.
In a statement from a DHS spokesperson, they said on February 20th, San Diego County supervisors demanded entry at the Otay Mesa Detention Center without abiding by proper protocol and contacting ICE to request access at least 7 days in advance. Instead, they reached out to an ICE contractor. Since ICE was not notified of the visit beforehand, they were turned away. But the supervisors shared this email with us showing approval from the ICE National days before the visit to enter the facility, but it was suddenly taken away.
They said that we had clearance from local ICE, but national ICE essentially had overturned that clearance at the 11th hour, at the last minute.
Now the supervisors say they will sue ICE for entry into the facility, or they will take the risk of defying a court order.
What are they hiding that they won't even let us in? To a predetermined, pre-cleared inspection where you would assume that they would show us the best of what they have.
Also, a member of Paloma Aguirre's team told me that they will be filing that lawsuit coming up next Tuesday. Reporting live, I'm Alex Cheney, News 8. Back over to you.
Thanks for that update, Alex. San Diego Unified School District employees are bracing for potential job losses tonight. The school board voted unanimously last night to eliminate around 220 positions to close a $47 million budget gap. These cuts would impact positions like cafeteria workers, bus drivers, and custodians. While 88 of those cuts would affect positions that are currently vacant, as many as 133 workers could receive layoff notices. We're told that number may shrink if some employees are reassigned.
Hundreds of properties across the county are heading for the auction block.
Still ahead, what you need to do first if you are interested in bidding on any of these properties.
But first, what Governor Newsom is saying about fire recovery and the status of the race to succeed him after this.